That's not the right website. Oh, Whitley. There's a Vegas. Vegas in the middle. R2R. Vegas. Mastermind.com. We had that. Vegas. Sweet. What's up, 14 people that jumped on here? I'm waiting on Spoon to get on. So we had a real interesting weekend. Learned a lot about myself. One, I like sunlight way more than I want to admit. So here's old Spoon right here.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you again. Hold on. My speakers figured out what it was last time. It's talk to me now, Spoon.
What you got, man?
Uh-oh. I just had my volume down. Hold on. Back. Talk now, son.
I'm here.
Good. All right. So, yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man.
Like my computer messes up. But dude, I found out some things. We got to keep getting our ass handed to us in these far off locations. The Grosbeck-isms work when you get people on the line, but man, I think it's a comfort level within myself of not being able to handle the price points that people come back with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Stuart?
It's your world, bud. You just let us visit. I just heard your name.
Oh,
I heard that voice. I slide your all, you know.
That hey, you know, somebody posted today that the Texas accent was voted the sexiest accent in the U.S. on Facebook, and I don't think we got accents, but you know,
it works.
I'm very sure we do. I lived in Connecticut, and I'd introduce myself and say I was from Texas. You could watch people mentally subtracting about 25 IQ points just right there.
That's funny.
Well, it's not near as bad as when people figure out I graduated high school from Arkansas.
Oh yeah. I can marry my sister if I want to.
True story. I lived in Arkansas 1 year, graduated high school from there.
Damn, that's terrible. I don't even want to know that about you.
I know.
So,
Wow. All right. Anyway, nice to talk to you. Call me when I'll come up anytime.
Yeah, no, we need to meet up with you, man. Stuart's going to help. You know, Cody was asking me about NOI and stuff the other day, and I'm not smart enough to explain it as well as you can, Corey. So
I'll put a link to a video that explains NOI above our heads when I come back and edit this video.
And DSCR. So I asked Stuart when he was up there at his new flip house to sit down with us for lunch, and let's get the team smarter than I can make them.
Man. Well, DSCR but you know, we found out that not all lenders DSCR is the same.
Absolutely.
We got one lender that doesn't factor in any expenses in their DSCR, which works in our favor, but it's not, you know, it is what it is. And apparently the definition isn't universal. So Spoon, we've been doing these marketing masterminds. Of course, me and you both saw a post on the internet the other day from a friend of ours. We've dove into this, right? And
like crazy. My mind exploded. I called you immediately. I'm like, dude, you got to read this.
So we took action on it this weekend, but we don't have our message dialed in, and it is kicking our ass. So to give you an idea of what we were looking at, we're looking at 26,000 phone numbers. 26,000.
Yeah. No, you're right. And it was 100.
He just shook his head no because he's like, there's duplicates in there, and he's right.
No. And that's not why I was shaking my head. It's 130,000. It's 65,000 unique records.
65,000 unique records. Very hard to nail down, but and I told you this on the phone earlier. Our response rate was abysmal from what we're normally expecting. So the first day we ran 5,000 records through our RVM system, and only 1,500 delivered. That would normally result in 150 callbacks. Normally, you're always going to get 150 callbacks. If you get 1,500 voicemails delivered, you get 150 callbacks. Typically. just callbacks. That's not voicemails back. That's just callbacks. Okay. We only got 45. All right. And out of the 45 though, and we didn't go through the full 45 that called back. We only listened to the voicemails, and there's a guy in Oklahoma City that's like, yep, I got my mom's house, want to sell it. I was actually going to let it go back to the bank, but if y'all can work something out, let's go. Right there on the voicemail. He was at work. Okay. I could probably pull up the voicemail. I don't have to lie to kick it. I got the data to back it up. Another person calls back and thought I was with some service company that was going to come by our house. And so when I call her back, because it was like, oh, you're with so-and-so. So I thought, oh, that must be some other company that's going to buy, right? So we call her back right there in the class, which was actually in a hotel room because we didn't book a venue. So we goon squatted a bunch of chairs up into a hotel room. And it was fun. Like, it was fun, but I was like, man, I'm so frustrated. But
my favorite thing about that was that call you had with me. That was my favorite thing of the whole weekend.
Well, okay, so we're in that hotel room. We call this person back, and she's like, well, actually, my mom wants to sell her house. It's in a town in Texas that we're both familiar with. We know exactly where that is. Where everybody's taking notes. Everybody's writing down everything. That was the best thing about being in that small deal. So I'm on the phone with her. I'm banging it out. Right? And everybody's taking notes. So I didn't even have no notes. We get to the end and they're like, this is the address. Somebody handed it to me on a sticky note. And everybody wants to know what our CRM is. I'm like, it's a group message. Wow. I take a picture of it. I send it to you. I'm like, money right here. Is it what you got an appointment when?
Tuesday.
So
dude, I need to loan you my Spider phone. I got a Spider phone that Bluetooths up to your cell.
I don't care. I give y'all such a hard time in Masterminds. Like, the whole team wants a CRM and they want all this data, and I'm like, just call, just keep calling. Don't worry about who you talk to. Just keep calling. But it don't matter. We got the notes. Send it to them. That's it. That's call number 2. Call number three was a duplex in a college town in Arkansas. Bang, bang, bang.
Well, there ain't that many college towns in Arkansas, so that's probably pretty good.
Probably not a deal. But luckily enough, from this mastermind in Nashville, people drove in. One guy drove in from 10 hours. Another guy drove in from Arkansas. So he's actually working that lead right now. Whether it turns into a deal or not, I don't know. That's why we always have a realtor on our team, because if somebody wants to sell, you can still monetize that lead. You know what I mean? So here we are, Spoon. But that response rate still it leaves something to be desired. Wouldn't you say?
It does, but we're going to work. I have enough test data to just worry my little self into oblivion trying to make it work.
Well, I know you're going to. If anybody can do that.
If there's anybody that can fiddle fart around with something until it doesn't make sense anymore, it's this guy.
Well, all right. So next day, changed. Let me get to the voicemail. Let me see if I can get the voicemail up. Okay. Because this is important. I don't know if it'll be loud enough for y'all to hear it. And for some reason, I just Googled Second Life, whatever that is.
Oh, Second Life. That's fantastic. Is that thing still alive?
It actually is. So it's like some.
That's where Corey's guru shit program is sold in Second Life.
All right. So I don't even like that I have that in search history. Let me see if I turn this up, if y'all can hear it.
Way better than my search history.
God, Spoon, be quiet. Hold on. See if I can get this message up.
I was doing some research, and it looks like you might be associated with a property I'm looking to buy. If you could, give me a call back.
Now, so we're trying to dial in this messaging, right? Do you believe, what do you think the response rate was on that voicemail? And this is the one I sent the day before, so everybody will have a little bit of.
Ooh, I want to play this game.
Somebody had said you might be had a property that you may be looking to sell. If you could, give me a call back.
So those are the 2 voicemails. Now, the best part about these marketing masterminds this weekend was we're in there, all in there, and I told everybody, I'm like, I've never marketed to this list. Like, I just found out it existed 2 days ago. We're going to bang it out, though. And everybody was like, okay. And the second voicemail used the same kind of data. I just pulled 5,000, the next 5,000 on the list, dropped it, and got a mixed set of response. Got a little bit different response. It didn't bring the cream out. You know what I mean? Where the day before we didn't get a good response rate, but at least the cream was at the top. This one caused a lot of confusion. So we had a lady call us back that was like, yeah, my landlord's probably going to want to sell. I still live there. Here's the number. So that was the best one that came out of that. But no cream floated to the top. So me and Spoon have been talking, and I know what he's about to say. I ain't telling. I ain't what I'm going to do. He's like, we keep ruining this for ourselves every time we come out with new ways of marketing and new whatever. We throw it on the internet, and then we're competing against everybody in R2R in the places that we buy. I ruined Corsicana for us. And you know what I mean? Corsicana was a honey hole. And
oh no, I was actually just thinking, can you hear my kid screaming in the background? Like he's losing his mind.
Bring him in.
No, it's nap time. They gotta go.
But no, what you've got a really good idea about this, because the data, there's so much data. You said it earlier. There was 60,000 independent records. Is that what you said? No,
yeah, it's 133,000 divided by 2 essentially. So 67,500, something like that.
Independent records.
But here's the thing, like you got to really look into this data. So a lot of those records don't have any numbers associated with them because those are relatives of relatives. I've got to go back through and clean this up today, and I'll get us a real accurate count of what that is. That's my next step. I wanted to talk to the person that provided this before I did that, which I just got off the phone of and called you before I did anything else, because I wanted to make sure I understood what I was looking at.
Well, and we're tweaking this whole deal right now this week, and we're going to run another set of marketing out in the way that you've presented, which I think is a genius idea. But we're not going to be on here. We're not going to be on the internets talking about this at all. I will be, however, showing everything this weekend in El Paso, and then showing it in Dallas, and then showing it in Houston as well. Dallas might be a bad idea. I'll leave that one up to you. There's only these things, only 10 people take advantage of these, and every one of them.
I'm not worried about showing it, because if they're trying to do this in mass, most of them don't have the guts to do it in mass because of the soul sucking nature of that. So.
Well, yeah,
and the cost associated with it.
And that's why the way we're talking about doing it now with such a small cream of the crop, like if you take this data, let's say your first layer of data is tax delinquents, you can't afford to do this marketing.
Nope. You can't do this on an equity list. No way.
Nope. Can't do it. Can't afford it. You'll go bankrupt.
Yeah, but if you did what I did, which was I need deals this week. Corey called me last week and said, you got to get some shit on the board. We got to buy something. So what did I do? I do what I do every time. If I'm not putting up bandit signs, I got my happy ass in my little car. I left my fucking bat cave here. And I went and drove up 300 bandos. And anybody that said, oh, there ain't no bandos out there, you're full of fucking shit. I did videos all day on the internet roasting people.
Propelio driving for dollars out?
Huh?
Propelio driving for dollars out?
Of course.
So,
like, I was on the phone bragging to Nick, who I had asked to, I'm like, hey, you need to go drive this area today. And I told him today, I'm like, if you don't go drive it, I will. Like, it's your opportunity, because I know there's bandos there because I've driven it before.
And that little creamy list, which is, everybody asked me this weekend, what's the best way to get vacant property list?
Drive
through your windshield. It's get off your mom's couch, get out of your mom's basement, take your ass out there and drive around.
And the more you do it, the better you get. Like, I was looking at properties. I said, Nick, this is a weekend property, but it looks like they're probably past. I pulled it up on Propelio. It said this person's name, independent executor, done.
And then, anyways, I'm not even going to dive into it, because when it comes to the data side of things, bandos are abandoned houses.
Yeah, Bando is my Facebook or my YouTube channel. It's also an abandoned house.
So as we do this, and we map out how we're going to market this affordably, because we went over the numbers this morning on what that data. We were fortunate that we didn't have a whole bunch of data, but what it would have cost had we messed up and ordered it beforehand, because it can be $2 per independent record, correct?
No, so what happens is once you skip trace the list, right now they're running a special 13 cents a piece. It's usually a quarter, but there's also some price drops coming. So you skip trace 1,000 leads. That's at a 13 cents, it's $130. Then you go back to Skip Genie, and if there's 100 people that are dead in there, that's $2 right now, flat fee per record.
That's it. And so from there, you get really, really interesting data, but you got to dial that message in. So over the course of this week, we're going to dial that message in and how we're going to send it out. Just like we lay out in our marketing mastermind, how we RVM, and then how that data comes out the other side, and then how we text the next wave. You know what I mean? So our first touch is RVM, our second touch is text, and how we map that out. We're going to have that hopefully dialed in a little bit better for El Paso. But by the time Houston rolls around, which is February, first weekend of February, I hope to already have a deal on the board from this marketing. So we got somebody asking if the marketing mastermind is worth it because they're from Stephenville. Stephen, hey, Spoon, how many rentals you own in Stephenville?
4 right now, and the last time I went through there, I'd knocked down 8 deals.
So yeah, there's
I take that back. 4 of them were somewhere else, but
I would say there's deals in Stephenville, and
that's where we sold the cat pee house.
Yes, the cat pee house. You know,
Corey walked in, he's like, "Oh, Spoon, you fucked up."
I was like, I was so happy Spoon got some confidence to himself, you know, and made an offer and felt real good about it. I'm not going to shit on this deal yet. We'll just see how it plays out. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I think we're own a house forever in Stephenville. You know what I mean? It was one of the worst houses I've ever been in from a like, oh my God, perspective. The bamboo in the backyard blew my mind that it was going to take $4,000 to get it out of the backyard.
Well, what was better?
I was like, we're fucked. We're sending a DJ in with a chainsaw or whatever. I don't know what we were going to do.
When they made the offer to me and they're like, we'll do it at whatever, 55 if you remove the bamboo. And I'm like, well, what will you do if you remove it? They're like 53.5. I'm like, sold. This is your property.
A $4,000 bid to get the bamboo out of the backyard.
What was weirder about that, so I bought that from a wholesaler, right, who called a bandit sign this wholesaler put out, and that ended up being one of my childhood friends' mom's house. That's the house he grew up in. It's weird.
Can past mastermind groups get the new info you have created? I don't know if we ever create any new info. Do you think there's any new info?
I don't know that I understand that question.
Well, like, so for instance, they want to know what this new marketing and list and everything that we're doing is. We don't know if it's going to work. So I can give you all the new info you want. It doesn't matter if we don't have the skins on the wall to back it up. So, can you get it? I don't know. I don't know how I would deliver it. I just don't. I'm not going to be talking about this on the internet. So, no,
it's really funny. It's really funny to me to this deal. So there was a big dust. I don't know. It wasn't a dust up. Somebody got in the group, was like, please provide a list of every text messaging app that's ever been made and give me the pluses and minuses of each one. And my answer was like, just fucking do it. And the reason people don't do it is because it costs money, but we do. We just go spend money to see if the shit works.
I did. I gave reviews on 2.
I know that. I know.
And then they tried to bite my head off on the backside. I'm like, well, fuck you. Next time you ship, you want me to come wipe your ass for you too? Like, I don't know what you want from me. I would say this: if you've been in the past masterminds and you want more information, directly below is a website that says r2rvegasmastermind.com, where we're going to literally be hanging out for a week, and it's a full year-long mastermind. If you want all of this real time as we do it, it's available to all of those people that are in that year-long mastermind. And there's only probably 4 or 5 spots left in that mastermind. I haven't totaled it up yet, I know I'm probably out of tickets to Grant Cardone. And but that's it. Like if you want this information as fast as it come out, this ain't an upsell. Like hell, what do you think we made this weekend at the Mastermind, Spoon? What do you think we made both locations?
I'm gonna say negative $500.
Negative $1,200.
Hey, negative
So we
$1,200.
spent $1,200 to bring information to people to keep our commitments. And while the first one wasn't as we had to steal chairs and move them up to a hotel room to make it happen because
But that would have been another 500 you lost.
yes, it would have been negative $1,700. So the point of this isn't, I got asked this weekend about what's the goal of the mastermind, where's the upsell, what does this happen, all that. I'm like, look, I'm not afraid to ask for the business, but here's my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to make enough money off these masterminds to hire a cameraman. Now I've got a cameraman that's probably going to be coming with me to El Paso this weekend. I'm about to call him up, and I might take him. There's a group up north that's flying me up to Erie, Pennsylvania at the beginning of February. And so I'm going up there, and the guy just asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to do something? Do you want to do a mastermind or something the day of? And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Because if you're going to put me in a room for 8 hours teaching this, I don't mind doing it. I don't mind doing it at all because I'm going to be there the full day. Like they're flying me up on Wednesday and I don't leave till Friday. So I'm going to be up there all day Thursday. Right. And I'm like, if you want to put me in a room and I will sling this marketing. I'll do the whole marketing presentation. I said, I'll get online tomorrow. I'll start pulling public data. Like I'll get all my ducks in a row to do that for y'all then. But here's the deal. They're going to have to pay to get in that room. And not because the information is so valuable, but because I'm going to be spending a full day in Erie, Pennsylvania, inside of a room. You know what I mean? Stuck between these four walls, doing something that I love, but I'm not going to get to experience any real estate in Erie. If it was up to me, I would rather get in your car with your team, whoever that is, go ride around, look at deals. I would rather you get out an old list of people that you couldn't negotiate down, and let's walk in some fucking living room and negotiate some real estate, and that won't cost you a penny. Nobody that's in that car, whoever your squad is, if we're looking at real estate, I've got three things I want to do while I'm in Erie, Pennsylvania. I want to look at real estate. I want to eat food that's bad for me. You know what I mean? I want to have a terrible diet the entire time I'm there. And I want to throw a snowball into the Great Lakes. And if it's frozen, I might even pee my name onto it. I don't know.
You could go up and do a video at the site of the very first oil well in the United States, Pennsylvania.
Maybe. But that's what I told him. I said, now, but if you throw me in a classroom setting all day and then you want me to go speak at your event that night, I don't mind it. I don't care. But it's not going to be free because that's not, I don't get to, the entire time I'm in these cities doing these masterminds. When I was in Charlotte, I didn't see daylight in Charlotte. Did not see daylight in Charlotte until we walked outside to go do lunch. You can imagine what it's like for me. Like, I'm getting
and I gotta sit in the back of the room and be like, Corey, shut up. Everybody's got to pee. Like,
but I told him that. I said, look, we're not, bathroom breaks are up to y'all. Y'all grown-ups. Y'all go pee when you need to go pee. We're not going to take bathroom breaks. We're going to run marketing. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to go eat lunch, and then we're going to come back, run marketing, and talk about real estate. And that's that we came to slay. But, it's like everybody looks at it like a pre-tax vacation. I'm like, man, I've not flown in a long time. Flying wears me down. This weekend, going to El Paso, though, I'm taking DJ with me, and we're driving.
Flying is my favorite. That's the best sleep I ever get.
I don't. So
I sleep before I'm off the tarmac, bro. Like, I'm just like,
I don't know why I can't sleep on a plane, but I didn't fall asleep on any flights.
So obviously I'm not going to El Paso, and I wish I was because I love that area. Everybody that doesn't know, I lived out there for 10 years. That area in El Paso is so ripe with the kind of investing we do. If you go out to Horizon, you go up to Chaparral, you go up to Mesquite, which ain't, we say Mesquite in Texas, they call it Mesquite out there. Or you go up to Cruces in New Mexico, TRC, New Mexico. You know what's in TRC, New Mexico? A Walmart and meth. It's a wonderful town. I mean, it's a lake town. It's 80 miles. It's the closest lake from anybody in that part of Texas, extreme West Texas. and everybody goes there for the weekend. But it's the same kind of investing that we do in our rural areas right here. You could do all day long in El Paso, Texas. You could do this in Colorado. Like, I was going through the calls earlier and looking at the callbacks. We got one from Minot, North Dakota, and I'm pepping up the team. I'm like, guys, do you know why this is important? Because there's nothing good in Minot, North Dakota. There's a reason they have $70 flights to Vegas.
Did y'all? I'm going to pull that voicemail out of that person that cussed me out this weekend. It's the greatest ever.
Hey, let's answer these questions before we jump off here, though. So Kelly says we have accents. She's a Kiwi. You should hear her accent. 2, is the mastermind worth it? It's 100. Well, I don't know about the big mastermind because that's a different thing.
Spoon, you don't know about the big mastermind? Come on, bro.
Hold on. What I'm saying, I'm trying to separate the two things. So let me separate the $100 masterminds he's doing in the town. Dude, I paid $5,000 to a guru to learn how to send direct mail. And he gets
I bought a guy's dinner this weekend that paid $5,500 to be in a Facebook group to learn how to daisy chain.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, for $100, you can walk into a classroom with Corey and actually get on the phone and negotiate some shit and probably walk out with an appointment if you're hungry. The ones that sit there and say, I don't want to be on the phone the whole time, don't walk out with no appointments. But I've seen some straight up savagery in those things. Just some amazing people come out of their shell and just lock stuff up. The big mastermind, the people that are going to be in the room, depending on what you want to do, you got Chris Young, who's a friend of ours, and he's a savage in his own right. This guy came up out of snatching cars, made all his money, and now he's an Airbnb guy. Erase
all of that. Chris, Danisito, Jory, the owners of Bets, the owners of Paper Stack are coming out. Daniel Moore has said he'll come out. That list alone is that one day that's going to happen there is going to change life. That'll be whatever, okay? But the full year long, the $5,000 year long, let's just put it in perspective, because if your calculator works, let's do the math. We're doing 15 people for $5,000. 15 for $5,000. That's $75,000. $35,000 for the suite at GrowthCon. So we got $35,000 in the suite. We've got $20,000 in the mansion for the week. So we're at $55,000, and then we got to get a limo to drive us around the whole time we're there.
How long is the mastermind in Vegas? How many days?
But it's a full year long. You buy the top deal, it's a year long. So we're not even talking about the math. Let's just look at the actual math of what the mastermind is. It's a $75,000 gate. A $75,000 gate. That $50,000 has been spent on the first, or $60,000 has been spent on the first location right now, and I promised everybody dinner the first night. So you can imagine what dinner is going to cost at the plate. We might end up at CC's for dinner, but in and of itself, like, everybody might ask, well, what's the point in that? Okay, here's the point. Here's the basic point of it. I wanted to make my money back from Grant Cardone, so I built this mastermind. From there, what I've learned is invaluable, right? The people that step forward, because Roughnecks Real Estate doesn't attract bums. It doesn't attract lazy individuals. We got attorneys. We've got salespeople. We've got people from Amazon. That room, the other 15 people that have paid, is the most savage group of human beings that are ever going to step foot into a mastermind ever. And from funding the College Station event, the last one you were at, we had a dude that owned 600 doors in the room. We had another guy that owned 120 doors in the room in a $100 mastermind, because R2R attracts the cream of the crop. If you're out there putting fluff and bullshit and fucking Lambos up and all of that, that's you. You know what I mean? If you're talking in ambiguous terms and all that, what are you attracting? Ambiguous people. We don't attract that. That's not our circle. We're a bunch of fucking savage people that'll go work. Right now, Spoon, you're the perfect example. How many bathtubs did you patch this year to make a deal work?
As many as I had to.
Exactly. And other people.
I went down the day before yesterday, or I spent whatever day it was, Friday. I was down changing breakers and shit.
That's it. And so you're not getting into a bushy ass crowd of, pay the next level and we'll unveil your secrets. You like the day. It's like you just open up your book and there it is. This is everything I know how to do. This is why I know how to do it. Here's the experience I've had with it. And if I can help you, we're building out one gentleman that's in the mastermind. He's not even coming to Vegas, but he wants cash equity out of his rentals. And I was like, why do you need the cash? You know what I mean? Like, why do you need the cash? Let's just answer that simple question. So we're getting him lined out with an actual CPA that does real estate investing to get his book straight, because he's got a goal of I can't remember how many rentals, but whatever it is, I was like, oh, we're going to way exceed that. But he's got that. He's got a job. He's got a W-2 job. He's a very, very intelligent individual. He just needs to figure out his bookkeeping, get that lined out, and then figure out a strategy to start burrowing in the home so he's not buying equity. And that's it. That's what that guy paid for. And we're helping him build that plan and implement it. That's it. So everyone wants to know if it's worth it. I don't give find me anybody. You put me in the room with anybody and we'll figure it out from there. Like if they there are guys out there like Mitch Stevens and them. I can't hold a candlestick to Mitch Stevens. Like he's forgotten more about real estate than I'll ever know. Right?
He's only done a couple thousand notes.
Yeah, but these fucking guys that have came up in the last 2 or 3 years that are now selling $5,000, $2,500. One dude's selling $2,500. He gives you all of his affiliate links, and then he tells you for another $2,500 he'll show you how to use them. Do you believe that shit? And I know this dude. Like I know this dude. And I'm like, so yeah, there's 100x more value in what's going to take place there than any. I don't. At the point.
So one, I'm a little jealous you didn't buy me a ticket to earlier, but
this whole thing is to lift the whole Roughneck Real Estate brand to where those guys right there that are selling $2,500 fucking affiliate links can't get no fucking oxygen.
So
we're going to starve them out of the fucking room because we're going to bring actual value. The $100 marketing mastermind, there should be 100 people in the room every fucking weekend. And I don't care what anybody says. Everybody that comes says they would have paid more knowing what was in the room, but I'm not doing a good enough job of telling people what's in the room. Well, guess what? I'm telling you right now, you want to be in the fucking room. If you don't want to be in the room, you ain't got $100, you ain't got the time, that's always going to be your reason. And you probably don't need to be in the fucking room.
So all I was going to say is just one person out of your list of people. I can't even put value on Daniel, what Daniel's done for my family. It's fucking impossible. It's impossible to articulate the value that dude has brought to my family at zero fucking cost.
Well, hold on. You support Propelio.
I do, but I'm saying like he would have given that either way. But like Dan Diaz, who's
as an event up this weekend in Houston, $300, and he's going to teach you how to hypothecate money with notes with lien position. None of y'all even know what that means. Everybody should be in the room.
I'm jealous. I'm not going this weekend. That shit is ridiculous what he's going to teach. But one video from Dan taught me how to make owner finance offers, seller finance specifically. I didn't understand it well. Dude, you're going to be able to sit with him. Like every time I talk to Dan, somebody the other day, somebody is really funny. They're like, hey, if you come down to San Antonio, I'll introduce you to Dan. I'm like, oh, I know him. Think so. But yeah, it was really funny because I don't know. It's just a random set of occurrences. But that dude, I learned something every time I sit next to him. Well, same as Chris. Every time I talk to Chris Young on the phone, I learned some shit from that crusty old bastard.
Well, but Chris is out there, it's like Chris is in Napa Valley, California. You probably can't find a much bushier place on earth making money in real estate. And he's literally, you can go watch his last video. I might put it down in the comment section. Chris needs a fucking YouTube, by the way. Those links are way easier to put places. But Chris Young, if you don't know who he is, he's on my friends list. He's in Roughneck Real Estate. I'll tag him. He's in Napa Valley, California. They put in their own laundry facility in their office because they do Airbnb. And they have he's out changing out doorknobs, putting keypads on, doing all this stuff. He's in the trenches. You know what I mean? He's not looking at it from afar, saying what could happen, what may happen. He lives it every single day. You know what I mean? He can tell you why he put a laundry facility in his office when it comes.
Yeah, he can tell you what to do when they shoot a porn in your place too. Like that dude, he just had 2 places robbed in a month, like strategically robbed. Yes. There's a lot of knowledge that comes with an old dude like him, and I call him that. But I'm telling you, the value the people that are in that room are bringing just can't be placed. There's not a monetary, not a monetary figure.
And everybody that comes to the marketing masterminds can come to the Vegas one day for half off. I just hadn't sent the email yet because I don't know how to send emails. So it's like I'm trying to put together that link. I'm actually going to put everything onto Eventbrite to make it easier for us because ClickFunnels is it's whatever. But I'm going to put it all on the Eventbrite so I have it all there, and then I'm going to push it back out. And I was actually going to do that today, but my buddy Brandon, who I worked in the oil field with, said I never hang out with him and do dumb stuff. His son's out of school. His son's out of school today, so I came up here to set up and talk with a couple of different people. But when I walk out of this room, I'm going to do dumb stuff with my friend Brandon, and we're going to take his son out and ride side by sides. But
hey, I want to clarify this because I want to make sure everybody understands it. 5-day Vegas mastermind. That's part of this year-long mastermind. What is the 1-day Vegas event? What's the difference between those two?
The 1 day is owner finance. So PaperStack is changing their platform to fit our needs. How amazing is that?
It is. So is it just PaperStack, or is Dan Diaz talking that day? Who's talking that day?
Jory's talking it. So Jory does contract for deed and stuff in other states, and he does that remotely from Miami. I've got to get Jory on this to introduce him to people because, Jory is a guy that's done thousands of deals. I don't know that it's actually thousands. I know that he's done a lot. He's been in real estate 3 or 4 times as long as I have, right? Same age as me. He's a high school football coach, family man, great human being, you know what I mean, that does things remotely. He's not, makes a ton of money on passive income, creating notes, and he does it in a way that we don't know how to do. We don't know how to do contract for deed. It's not legal in Texas, so we don't do it. So anybody that comes in from out of that area that wants that expert in that field, Jory's that guy. And we're going to put together some stuff with Jory down the road. I can't wait for Jory and Dan to meet each other, and I hope they put something together down the road because you're talking about two creative humans is what you want to be around. You know as well as I do, there's probably nobody more creative in this business than Daniel Chatmore.
I would think Mitch Stevens probably up there. Those two are probably the two that I can't really.
I'm talking about creative in the fact of Mitch might be a great creative note guy.
Oh, I get you. I thought we were talking owner finance.
It was just a creative human being. He's like, hey, have you ever thought about pulling a dead butterfly list and doing this, and then on the back end of this, and then taking that, and then we'll shoot them a carrier pigeon, and you know what I mean? It's like it's mind-numbing information when Daniel starts thinking about something that you're doing in your own business, right? He puts his spin on it, and 2 seconds later, you're like, I think that's going to work way better. I'm going to try Daniel's way.
So last year, almost this time last year, it was like a week ago last year, I did the first of 3 videos with Daniel on Propelio about mobile home investing.
Yes.
And I actually, during that thing, I was talking to Daniel about my goals for this year, and he said, write them down and gave me some other advice. And all of that was right advice. And I didn't do any of it. I didn't take any of it into action. Looking back in hindsight, should have listened to Daniel Moore and Corey last year, and I'd probably be a lot further along this year. With that said, everything that Corey's saying is true. Like every time I sat down and talked with Daniel, whether it was the first meeting, I don't know if you remember this, the first time we met Corey was in the Propelio Mastermind over 2 years ago. And I'm like, I don't want to do bandit signs. It's really because I was scared to do bandit signs. I came up with some bullshit excuse, whatever it was. I don't want to do them because it's illegal or something. And everybody in the room called me lazy, just told me I was lazy. And Daniel straight up called me out on that. So more so than not just being, he is really creative, but he's also really good at seeing through bullshit and really getting to the point of a matter.
That maybe, but Daniel's the most savage, creative person ever.
Yeah.
Danacito is savage and creative on the backside of notes. Putting somebody in first lien position, you keep second lien position, selling the first lien position, making X number of dollars. You know what I mean? Like just an actual deal structure where you sell the note, make money, and keep the second lien and keep cash flow. Jory is the same kind of creative as both of those guys, okay, on contract for deed and different ways to structure deals on the purchase side, which Dan Cito is good at too. And now all three of them are going to be in the room together, okay? And when those kind of energies get in the room,
crazy.
It's like, oh, hey, have you ever tried this? Have you ever tried that? And then newbies are going to be sitting around, you know,
not understanding anything is going on. But
no, depending on where you're at in the business, you're going to understand enough of it. You know what I mean? But you're going to get to be in that situation where three superpowers collide. Then you throw Chris Young into it, and he throws a motherfucker this way, this and that. If you could buy something owner finance like Jory's talking about, and then you Airbnb it like this, now you take the tax deductions of the furniture, and then what do you got? A whole new exit strategy for that deal that you had in your pipeline that you didn't know what to do with, and it all comes together, and you're like, you know what? That's how I could have monetized that deal, and you made your money back just showing up.
And you can sit there and ask them to their faces. It's freaking incredible. Like when you have to do this stuff, like I'm the king. Besides, Corey's the king at bombing in strippers' DMs. I'm the king at bombing in people's DMs and just asking them for advice. Because when I was starving to death, that's what I did. That's how I found Corey. That's how I found Dan. That's how I found Larry Higgins. That's how I got a hold of everybody in my life that has helped me. It's a really hard way to get information from people, especially people that have their own shit to deal with. Like you can literally have somebody pinned down and just be like, hey, dude, you're an expert at this. How do I get out of this situation?
I don't know who's commenting because it just says Facebook user Spoon. You see the comments?
Yeah,
we got Mitch here. Mitch likes to sell partial notes. FYI, Mitch is actually get to meet Mitch for the second time in my life this week at College Station at their break meeting. So if you're in the area and you want to come out and shake Mitch's hand, that's the place to do it. I promise you, when Mitch comes, the next person, the guy that everybody in Houston knows about, but nationally don't know about, Eddie Gant will be there too. I almost want to ask Eddie to come out to the Vegas Mastermind just because I want to party with Eddie in Vegas, but I know that the rest of the Mastermind for me would go downhill because, every time I hang out with Eddie, property management, Eddie's going to be involved in it at some point down the road, the owner of Jet Lending. He will be involved in this year-long Mastermind for sure. If I can get him locked up, I want to speak for Eddie, but he's the kind of guy that likes doing that stuff. So pretty sure I can bring him out. But Mitch and the partial notes, that's kind of what I was talking about with Danacito.
So
Mitch is the best at it.
Yeah, dude. Is that the Mitch I'm thinking about, or is it a different Mitch?
That's Mitch Stevens.
That just in your text here?
You can't see the comments?
Yeah, I didn't. It just says, if that's Mitch Stevens, there's nobody like. If y'all want to read a book that'll blow your mind, it's How I Bought 1,500 Homes by Mitch Stevens with no S, Amazon. It's worth the $45. Go spend the money.
But anyways, long story short, we've been ranting about this mastermind. We started off talking about what we learned on marketing, and I've got people texting me saying, hey, I thought we were riding side by side, so I'm about to bounce out of here, Spoon.
Hey,
I'll put some links up above my head, maybe.
So I just want to touch on two things. I don't understand what Andrew's been texting the hell out of me. So whatever question you're asking, Andrew, just text it to me and I'll try to answer it. I don't know what that means.
What do you mean?
Whatever his question is about culture or something. I'm not sure. And speaking of bombing in DMs, Andrew's been smashing mine. So
well, Shannon says you can't see the comments watching through Facebook. It's because we're streaming on 3 platforms right now. So some of the comments are on different platforms. So that's why it's like that. Hey, I got Travion calling me. So I'm going to take this call. I'll see y'all later. Later.